are here to assess the situation, understand the impact, and develop the comprehensive plan to mitigate future risks. Let's begin with the financial impact. Ms. Sabrina, can you start?
Thank you, Ms. Umi. I have analyzed the potential financial losses if the data had been compromised. We could have faced direct losses of up to 200,000 ringgit, considering customer reimbursement, regulation fee, and legal fees. Additionally, there would be indirect costs such as reputation damage, which might affect our revenue for the next few quarters. To mitigate this, we should allocate a budget for enhanced cybersecurity measure. I recommend an initial allocation of 50,000 for immediate fee and ongoing monitoring.
Thank you, Ms. Sabrina. Those numbers highlight the seriousness of the threat. Mr. Is, can you discuss the operational impact and the measures you've taken so far?
Sure, Ms. Umi. The threat caused a brief disruption in our operations, primarily in our financial department. We implemented immediate measures, including temporarily isolating affected systems and increased monitoring. I have also developed an operational continuity plan to ensure minimal disruption in case of future incidents. This includes regular drills, backup systems, and cross-training staff to handle critical functions.
Excellent, Mr. Is. Continuity is crucial. Now, Mr. Ifan, can you walk us through the technical aspects of the incident and the steps taken to secure our systems?
Of course, we have conducted a thorough investigation, and based on the report from my team, the breach was due to a vulnerability in our updated firewall. And since that, we have patched this vulnerability and conducted a full security audit. Additionally, we have implemented multi-factor authentications, and also we have increased the network monitoring. And we plan to do a regular security deals, and also we are collaborating with an external cybersecurity firm to enhance our overall security posture.
Great work, Mr. Irfan. It's good to know that our systems are now more secure.
Sorry to interrupt, but may I share some thoughts about the internal audit findings and recommendations? Our internal audit revealed that while basic controls were in place, there were several areas needing improvement. For instance, user access controls were not strict enough, and there was a lack of regular security training for staff. I recommend implementing a comprehensive cybersecurity policy, regular internal audits focusing on IT controls, and mandatory cybersecurity training for all employees. These steps will help in strengthening our defense mechanism.
Thank you, Ms. Fatima. It's clear that we need to enhance our internal controls and staff awareness. Now, let's open the floor for discussion. Does anyone have questions or additional insights?
I agree with the recommendation, especially the budget allocation. We should also consider cyber insurance to cover potential financial losses in the future.
That's a good point, Ms. Sabrina. We should ensure that our continuity plans are regularly updated and tested.
I agree with our suggestion by our financial analyst and our operation manager that a regular testing in our IT system and training for our staff really will help us to stay prepared all the time.
And continuous internal audits will ensure that any vulnerabilities are identified and addressed promptly.
Thank you all for your invaluable input. Here's our action plan. Mr. Irfan, you will oversee the implementations of the new security measures and work with the external firm. Mr. Is, ensure that operational continuity plan is updated and conduct regular drills. Ms. Sabrina, you will manage the budget allocation and look into the cyber insurance. And Ms. Fatima, schedule the regular internal audits and initiate the staff program training. I will consolidate these efforts and report to senior management. So let's ensure we stay proactive in our approach to risk management. Meeting adjourned.
Good morning, Ms. Fatima.
Good morning, Ms. Sabrina. So thank you for meeting with me today, Sabrina. I wanted to discuss some findings related to budget overruns that we have identified during our recent audit.
No problem at all. I'm eager to hear what you are found and how we can address any issue.
So great. To start, we'll notice that several departments have exceeded their budgets by a significant margins this quarter. So specifically, the marketing department exceed its budget by 50% and research and development department by 20%. So Sabrina, can you provide me some insight in why these overruns may occur?
Yes, I'm aware of this overrun. For the marketing department, the primary reason was unplanned marketing campaign that was launched to counter a competitor's aggressive market strategy. They required immediately funding and resulted in higher than anticipated expenses.
I see. Was this unplanned campaign discussed and approved by our senior management?
However, the approval comes after the initial budget was set, which is what was not accounted for the original figure.
Okay, I understood. So what about the research and development department?
For R&D, the overrun was due to unexpected increase in raw material costs for one of our key projects. Additionally, there were some delays that required additional funding to keep the project on track.
So Sabrina, were there any contingency plans in place to handle such unforeseen expenses?
Unfortunately, our contingent plan were not robust enough to cover the full extent of this cost. We will still recognize this shortfall and are working on improving our contingency budgeting for future projects.
Okay, Sabrina, that's a crucial step. So it's important to have a buffer for unexpected expenses. Another point is that we noticed for some budgetary approvals, there seem to lack sufficient documentation. So can you shed some light on this?
Yes, we will have some internal communication issue that lead to delay in documentation. We will currently streamlining our approval processes to ensure all necessary documentation is complete and stored in the timely manner.
That's good to hear. Ensuring proper documentation is critical for transparency and also accountability. Are there any immediate actions your team is taking to prevent similar overruns in the next quarter?
Definitely, we will implement a stricter monitoring and control measure, including more frequent budget review and improved communication channel between departments. We will also revising our budgeting process to include more realistic projection and contingent fund.
Oh, those sounds like effective measures. I recommend documenting these steps and sharing them with all relevant stakeholders to ensure everyone is on the same page. Additionally, conducting regular training on budget management could help reinforce these practices.
That's a great suggestion. We will arrange training season to ensure everyone is aware of the new procedure and understand the importance of staying within the budget.
Excellent. So if you need any assistance or further clarification, feel free to reach out. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide support as needed.
Thank you, Ms. Fatima. I appreciate your insight and support. We will committed to addressing this issue and improving our budget management processes.
So glad to hear it. Let's stay in touch and ensure we maintain a proactive approach to budget management.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Good morning, everyone. So let's tackle the vulnerabilities we've identified through our IT system.
Yes, we need to ensure we address these issues truly.
Okay, I've conducted an in-depth IT screening and our infrastructure, but I found several critical areas that require immediate attention. If you guys can move on to the first slide, let's talk about our network monitoring. We found out that our current system, there is a lack of comprehensive monitoring, which means that we have a blind spot where malicious activity could go unnoticed.
How severe is this issue?
It's quite severe, but without comprehensive network monitoring, we could go miss an early sign of an breach, making it harder for us to respond quickly.
So what do you recommend?
My recommendation for now is we need to adapt a robust network monitoring solution that provides a real-time insight and alerts for any suspicious activities. This is what I believe will help us detect and respond to threats promptly.
Well, additionally, we should consider using AI to analyze network traffic patterns and identify any anomalies. Well, this could enhance our ability to detect any sophisticated threats.
That's a very good point. AI-driven monitoring could significantly improve our detection capabilities.
Yeah, agreed. So, what's the next issue?
Next issue, let's move on to slide number 2. Okay, our endpoint security is another weak area. Many of our endpoints, such as the employee laptops, mobile device, are not properly secured, making them vulnerable for attacks.
That's a significant risk, so how we can mitigate it?
From my viewpoint, we should deploy an endpoint protection software to all devices that were used by our employee. And to ensure regular security updates, additionally, we need to enforce policies for using secure connection, such as VPN and all that, especially if they are working remote area.
We should also conduct regular security audits of our endpoints to identify any vulnerabilities early and take corrective actions promptly.
And we might consider implementing a mobile device management solution to better control and secure employee devices, especially those used for remote work.
Excellent suggestions. What about our cloud services? Are there any concerns there?
Yes, I did found that our cloud security settings are not properly configured. That's the main issues, and that leaves our data stored in the cloud vulnerable to unauthorized access and potential breaches.
That's a major risk, so what do you suggest?
What I believe we should do is we should review and update our cloud security configuration, ensuring that we use the best practice for access control and encryption, including monitoring. Implementing a cloud security posture management also can help us to continuously monitor and improve our cloud security.
We should also consider performing regular cloud security assessments and penetration testing to identify and fix vulnerabilities before they can be exploited.
Definitely. So how about our physical security measures? Are they sufficient?
If I were to refer to the next slide, our physical security is lacking in several areas. For instance, we found that the server rooms and all the critical infrastructure areas are not adequately secured against unauthorized access.
So actually, how can we actually improve this problem?
We suggest enhancing a physical security by installing access control system with biometric authentication, surveillance camera, and environmental control to protect against physical threats and environmental hazard.
Well, it would also be prudent to establish stricter visitor policies and regularly review access logs to ensure only authorized personnel have access to sensitive areas.
And what about employee awareness? Are we doing enough to educate our staff about security best practices?
Currently, our security awareness training is infrequent and not comprehensive, and that is the issue, which leaves employee unaware of the latest threat and best practice.
Employee training is crucial, so what's your recommendation?
My recommendation, I believe we need to implement a continuous security awareness training program that should be included regular updates on new threats, phishing simulation, and best practices for maintaining our security.
Well, we should take a consideration to include metrics to track the effectiveness of our training programs and identify areas where further education is needed. And before we go any further, as we look in our previous discussion, all of this sounds critical. So what is our action plan?
For that issues, moving on to the next slide. Here is the proposed timeline. If you guys can see, we are starting by implementing a comprehensive network monitoring and also enhancing our endpoint security. And moving on to the next step, we'll update our cloud security configurations and improve physical security measures. And the last step would be we're gonna launch a continuous security awareness training programs.
I'll oversee the implementation and conduct follow-up audits to ensure everything is in place and working effectively.
Well, excellent. So, without further ado, let's get started on these actions immediately. And thank you everyone for your dedication.
Thank you so much for attending the meeting. I guess that's all for our meetup today. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.